Once again, Hercules found himself on a journey that would take him to the very edge of the known world. This time, his penultimate labor, imposed by the ever-dissatisfied and envious King Eurystheus, was a challenge woven with ancient legends and divine secrets. At first glance, the order seemed simple. He was to locate the famous garden of the Hesperides and return with one of its legendary golden apples. The garden's location was a mystery, but its guardians were so formidable that few would even dare dream of confronting them. The origin of these apples reached back to the earliest days of the gods, when Hera, the queen of Olympus and Hercules' bitter enemy, married Zeus, the king of the skies. She was gifted by Gaia, the primordial Mother Earth, with a tree of unmatched beauty. From this sacred tree grew golden apples that granted immortality and eternal youth to those who ate them. It was a divine treasure, symbolizing the love and union of the supreme gods, planted in the farthest western lands where the sun sets. This tree, heavy with precious fruit, was protected with the greatest care. Its guardians were the beautiful and gentle Hesperides, nymphs of the sunset, daughters of Atlas, whose enchanting songs enveloped the garden. But the true watchman was Ladon, a colossal and terrifying dragon who never slept, whose blazing eyes could detect the slightest intrusion. In his long and uncertain quest for the garden of the Hesperides, Hercules wandered through wild and desolate lands, guided only by ancient stories. His odyssey led him to the jagged mountains of the Caucasus. There he came upon a sight that shocked him deeply and stirred his compassion. Prometheus, the titan of cunning, was chained to a rock and suffering an eternal punishment imposed by Zeus. His crime? Stealing sacred fire from Olympus and giving it to mankind, bestowing upon them knowledge, civilization, and the power to shape their own destiny. His punishment was cruel and everlasting. Every day, a massive, vile bird sent by the gods descended from the sky to devour his liver, causing excruciating pain. Each night, his liver would regenerate, only for the torment to resume the next day endlessly. Hercules, moved by his generous heart and hatred for tyranny, saw the Titans suffering and realized Prometheus had endured enough. That divine justice had turned to unending cruelty. The son of Zeus did not hesitate. He raised his bow, aimed with precision, and slew the monstrous bird, finally ending the Titans' daily torture. Then, with his unmatched strength, Hercules shattered the adamantine chains binding Prometheus to the cliff, freeing him from his eternal torment. And thus Prometheus, the benefactor of humanity, was finally freed, thanks to Hercules' act of mercy and justice, a gesture that subtly defied Zeus's will. As a token of deep gratitude for his liberation, Prometheus, who possessed the gift of foresight, offered Hercules priceless advice. He pointed the hero toward the location of the garden and warned him that facing Ladon directly would be a suicidal effort, even for someone like Hercules. Brute strength would not be enough against an immortal and ever-watchful guardian. Instead, Prometheus advised Hercules not to fight the dragon, but to seek help from the Titan Atlas, father of the Hesperides. Only Atlas, due to his kinship with the nymphs and knowledge of the garden, could retrieve the apples without triggering the dragon's wrath. Continuing his journey, now with a clear direction, Hercules traveled to the far west, to the lands where the sky meets the earth. There, he finally encountered the mighty Titan Atlas, a vision of grandeur and unimaginable suffering. Atlas, too, was enduring a punishment imposed by Zeus, a cosmic burden that condemned him to a life of torment. Atlas had sided with the other Titans in their war against Zeus and the Olympian gods during the Titanomachy, the great war that shaped the cosmos. After their defeat, Zeus handed Atlas the most terrible and symbolic punishment. He was condemned to bear the weight of the celestial vault on his shoulders for all eternity. There he stood, a colossal figure, muscles strained under the effort, his face marked by pain and exhaustion, supporting the very heavens, bearing stars, clouds, and destinies upon his back. Hercules explained his mission, and upon hearing that the hero sought the apples from his own daughter's garden, Atlas saw a unique opportunity for momentary relief from his eternal suffering. He offered to retrieve the apples himself, on the condition that Hercules, with his legendary strength, take his place holding up the sky while he visited the garden of the Hesperides. Hercules, understanding the gravity of the request and the magnitude of the task, accepted the proposal. With a mighty roar of effort, he hoisted the heavy vault of the heavens onto his shoulders, feeling the crushing weight of the universe bear down on him. His muscles burned, his legs trembled, but he stood firm, enduring, for a brief and agonizing moment, the burden that Atlas had carried for millennia. It was an unbearable weight that tested the very limits of physical and mental endurance. Relieved of his millennia-long torment, Atlas set off toward the garden of the Hesperides. Time passed slowly for Hercules. Each second beneath the sky's weight felt like a lifetime of suffering. At last, the Titan returned. He brought with him the gleaming golden apples that Hercules had been sent to retrieve. Seeing the hero bowed under the heavens, Atlas, smiling slyly and speaking with a tone that bordered on mockery, said, "Here are the apples, Hercules. See? I got them. But don't worry, my friend. You've done the hardest part. I'll deliver them to King Eurystheus myself. After all, I'm much stronger and faster, and surely this journey has worn you out, hasn't it?" Atlas had no intention of resuming his cosmic burden. He had found his loophole, his escape from eternal torment, and he intended to take advantage of Hercules' supposed naivete. But Hercules, though exhausted and nearly crushed by the sky, was also a hero of great wit and cunning. He immediately recognized the trap. The Titan, in his newfound freedom, was trying to trick him, condemning him to carry the weight of the world forever. "Oh, how kind of you! Truly, I can't bear the thought of facing my cousin Eurystheus again. Your offer is generous, and I accept it with gratitude. But before you go, may I ask one small favor? Could you just hold the heavens for a moment? Just long enough for me to adjust my lion skin cloak. It's, bunched up under the weight. You understand how uncomfortable it is. One quick adjustment, and I'll be able to bear it much better." Atlas, well aware of the discomfort, agreed without suspicion, never imagining that Hercules was outsmarting him. As soon as the Titan lifted the celestial vault back onto his shoulders, Hercules, swift as lightning, snatched up the golden apples lying at his feet. Without a second glance or a word of thanks, he turned his back on the Titan and walked away, leaving Atlas once again trapped in his eternal punishment. Returning to Mycenae with the legendary golden apples of the Hesperides, Hercules was greeted with applause and celebration from Eurystheus' subjects. The king, however, consumed with jealousy and frustration over yet another triumph, concluded that there was only one way to be rid of Hercules once and for all. He must be sent to the realm of the dead, to Hades, for his 12th and most terrifying labor. The legend of the 12 labors of Hercules was nearing its final and most dramatic chapter.